Okay, I think we're live here. Yeah. Oh, did some people leave? I think we peaked at around 25 people waiting, and then they had places to be and people to meet. But we're all good now. We're all good with the audio. So again, I have a problem flagellating myself, exposing myself to content that grinds my gears that I don't agree with. I should, people accuse me of being in an echo chamber. No, the problem is I'm not isolating myself enough. Uh, I listen or watch the content produced by these clueless retards who, like I said, the blind leading the blind, lemmings off a cliff. That's why I call this head smashed in red pill buffalo jump. Head smashed in buffalo jump is a site in Canada where the Indians used to drive herds of buffalo or bison off the cliff. And it's apropos because if you've ever gone to the Museum of Natural History in New York, they have a diorama of a buffalo jump. And it basically shows Indians, American Indians, driving a herd of bison off of a cliff. And it kind of shatters the image that the Indians, in particular, themselves, the Indians like to promulgate that they were so peaceful that they never let any little tiny morsel of bison go to waste. They were at one with the earth. Well, you can't really be at one with the earth if you're driving hundreds and hundreds of buffalo off a cliff in a single afternoon. There was no refrigeration. It's 110 degrees on the I was going to say Savannah, on the plains of the American Midwest. So all of that meat went to waste. It was just picked clean by the vultures. But we have this impression of the Indians being these cute little Ewoks who they were the original environmentalists, brah. They were the original environmentalists. They were so green. It ain't easy being green. But let me tell you, those Indians, they were like Ewoks. They were so cute and fuzzy, and they were so nice. Oh, they drove 1,000 buffalo at once off a cliff, and they were only able to cut the meat from two of them. Oh, wow! I guess they killed a lot of animals needlessly. Whoa, whoa! I guess we have to reconcile these two images. But a lot of people in a similar vein have very distorted views about society and women and what they should do with themselves. And you know who these people are, the same content creators who are uh, they're in step with each other, but they're out of step with reality. Um, don't usually like to pull the age card, but perhaps that is part of the reason why they're so fucking clueless and out of touch with reality. And some of these are just hilarious because you know you take like Aaron Clary, and he had some video, and he always doubles down, tells people to major in STEM, and then he gets a message from somebody who not just majored in STEM, but he like makes over 100 grand a year. He's 36 years old. He's a data scientist at Airbnb or Google or whatever. My big data. All them women they're going for them my big data. Be whipping out my big data because you have to be a data scientist nowadays. You don't understand. There's just so much wisdom and knowledge of crowds. It's like Malcolm Gladwell, wisdom of crowds. I want to take my advice from somebody who looks like a dirty Q-tip. Malcolm Gladwell, brilliant Jewish thinker, not trying to sell books, not trying to push an agenda. Definitely does look like a used Q-tip. Um, but you have data scientists now. It's a very relatively recent field that's undergone a lot of expansion. Because you want to be able to divine certain things about your market, about your audience. You know, the same people who buy, certain products, do they also like certain genres of music? Um, the same people who, buy inordinate amounts of cat food and boxed wine, do they also buy a certain brand of vibrator? Okay, big data. Okay, that's why we need data scientists. That's why you study 25 years statistics or physics, so that you can get to the bottom of these questions that are plaguing capitalist America. Okay, um, there's just we have to mine that data. We have to sift that data. My big data. Um, women always want to see my big data. I always whip it out. Um, there's just, like I said, wisdom of crowds. Okay, wisdom of crowds. That's what. But we're getting off the subject. I just, this person riled me, because he's a data scientist. Um, but anyway, the crux of his argument was he was dating a 40-year-old single mother whose child was 18 years old, and he wanted advice. And I left the comment, and I still stand by it, that I could do better by sitting around watching reruns of Alf and The Wonder Years and Harry and the Hendersons, and just beating off all day. Okay, just beating off to episodes of The Wonder Years, Alf, whatever. Any 80s, 90s television show. This guy followed the sage's advice. He has his master's degree in STEM, works, at Airbnb or Skip the Dishes or Grubhub or any of those big data companies. Okay, Google, whatever, Facebook, and it's like you're dating you're dating a 38-year-old woman with an adult son. I mean, according to these big thinkers, the guy should be, the hitting on the 38-year-old woman and her daughter. Her daughter's 17, 18, and this guy's such a big data catch. He's a big data nigga, that he's macking the mother and the daughter. But no, he's he's trying to lock down the 38-year-old mother who has an adult son. Like I said, you can be Uncle Jojo, Uncle Jojo. Um, but these people with their horrible advice, head bashed in red pill basin. Okay, people with their stupid, horrible advice. There was another one. What's his name? Red Pill Germany. Uh, and he does videos. Should people continue to major in STEM? Should men continue to major in STEM? Oh, who's the other big kahuna, the big fish? Coach Red Pill. Coach Red Pill. Um, and what was his recent video? Why are women so miserable? Why are women so miserable? What fucking planet are you retards living on? Are women are miserable? I would say even the most despondent, dejected woman who manages to find her way onto one of my videos is orders of magnitude happier than I am or any of my male viewers. Okay? I mean, that's a fact. I mean, I was watching what's his name, Satanic TFL. He has some other account, and he was looking at the demographics of his audience, and it was exactly 0% women. And I think he was convinced it was not realistic, that the YouTube was tampering with it. I looked at my demographics, and my audience is 99% male. And I have no reason to doubt that. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. What I'm saying though is I don't know where people get this idea that women are miserable. Women are miserable. Not from my vantage point. Not from where I sit. From where I sit, Uh, yeah, they seem pretty damn happy. I mean, I'm out driving, going somewhere doing something, and I'll see a group of, college girls. It's the start of the, um, the fall semester. You got, you see groups of students getting their stuff or going for a meal together, and it'll be a group of like six girls, and they're on the street talking. Maybe two groups met up or something. I don't know, and they're smiling. I mean, they're hugging each other. I don't see the suicidal ideation. They look pretty fucking happy to me. Okay. Meanwhile, I see the men, and they always look like they're just short of putting a bullet in their head. Okay. They're just they're never happy. I never see men happy, smiling. I mean, unless they're on drugs. Um, but this idea that women are miserable, no, no, they seem pretty happy to me. Maybe they're better at hiding it. Maybe they're on happy pills, but whatever, they don't seem miserable to me. At least not, especially not from the content perspective. I mean, are there any female YouTubers that have the same air of anger, resentment, hostility, bitterness, and cynicism as pretty much all of the red pill, black pill community, the males? I mean, we know what Lauren Southern. She's happy as fuck. She's happy as a pig in shit. Okay, she's going here, going there, getting piss jugs thrown at her. She doesn't care. She gets a free trip to London. Okay, she gets to see Big Ben, and she gets to go see the Queen, and so she gets a little piss thrown on her. Okay, comes with the territory. Okay, tour. She has gives her stripes. Okay, her battle scars. Okay, she seems happy as a pig in shit. All of these women seem happy. Um, these so-called, even the ones who claim that they're disillusioned or they don't like seeing the current trends in Western society. They don't like mass immigration. They don't like infinite Africans in their clown car Zodiac graphs. And it's like fucking Three Stooges, like whoop 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 whoop, like uh, like 200 refugees disembark from a clown car Zodiac raft. It looks like it could only hold five. It's like a fucking clown car, and the women are just like standing on the beach, like nobody seems to be really bothered by it. They seem pretty happy. They seem pretty happy. Okay, at least they're not discontent. Let's put it that way. Um, most of these are only in it for the money. It's like that Frank Zappa album that parodied the Beatles. We're only in it for the money. Uh, you can bet they would not be doing these videos if they weren't getting contributions on Patreon or Hatreon or whatever. They wouldn't be doing it, and just the horrible advice. Who put out a new Bang book? Bang 3, the trilogy. Um, Although plot twist in this one, the bang is the sound of the incel pulling the trigger on his gun. That's actually plot twist. That's where the title comes from. It's not about banging women anymore. It's about ending suffering. That's the title of it. True story. Um, these people are just out of touch. Uh, so I talked about Coach Red Pill, Aaron Clarey. Let's say the same cobble, the same motley crew of old fogies. Women want superior alpha genes, and they take one example, one story ripped from the headlines that some Eastern European woman swapped the sperm jizz sample, come in a cup, from her husband with her previous lover, and they're like, yep, this is proof. This is proof. Women want alpha sons. They want to sire a race of super chads. Just because one woman did it, and they'll cite some other studios. 1 in 25 children are being raised by a man who isn't their father. 1 out of 25 is 4%. That's really low. I mean, you understand that, right? I don't see how you can take a headline that says 1 out of 25 children are not unknowingly being raised by a cuckolded man. One out of 25, that's 4%. That means 96% of men are the biological fathers. 96%. Okay, that's ridiculously high. Okay, so what that means is all of these little fucking bald Melvins that you see out there with their dad bods. Are you dad bod ready? Um, those are the fathers. Okay, like Maury Povich, you are the father. Uh, if these people are so stupid, if women were hunting for they're on the prowl for the best genes possible, wouldn't humanity be collectively getting bigger and stronger and better looking instead of devolving into a race of potato heads? Okay, because that's what I see. I don't see people becoming everybody is a male model. Everybody looks like they could be in a Hollywood movie. Everybody that I see looks like a fucking the incredible melting man. They look like Mr. Potato Head, like a sculptor was carving from rock their body, their face, and then about midway through wanted to go get a cup of coffee and said fuck it, and everybody just ends up looking like a potato head. Okay, I don't see these big cheekbones and everybody's 6'6", 6'8". Everybody's getting taller. Every generation we're getting 6 inches taller. Everybody just looks like a sick, balding potato face to me. Okay, so I'm pretty sure women are not hunting for the best jizz in a cup, getting that turkey baster. These people are so out of fucking touch with reality. Oh, major in STEM. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Major in STEM. It's so fulfilling. It's so I think Red Pill. What's his name? Red Pill Germany did major in physics. I think. Um, but what does he do? What does he do? He's caught flying between his former country and Japan. I guess he has a. I've got to watch my P's and Q's in this one because maybe I'll try to keep it up. So I won't use the slur. His Japanese wife or whatever, and his half Nippon kid or whatever. It's like these people are not winning at the game of life. They're not winning at the game of life. Okay, you work in industry, and notice these people didn't make it in academia. That probably was their goal. If you do go into STEM and you pursue, say, the highest degree possible, you probably do it with an intention of going into academia. If you just get your bachelor's, you're usually just gunning for industry. If you just get your terminal master's degree, your MEng degree, you're focused just on getting a job. But if you, and it sounds like Red Pill Germany did go the full Monty, he's not working in academia. He is still trapped in industry. And all of these people who say, yeah, just learn how to code. Everybody just go into programming. How many gay hookup apps do we need? Okay, how many? I mean, just how many do we need? Okay, how many grinder variants and alternatives to grinder do we need? Okay, it's like whoa. Hear me out, people. I'm trying to do some. I have some early seed funding. I have some seed funding here. I need the next round of funding for my next gay hookup app, and it's for gay men who are also into who they're also Hep C positive, but they're not HIV positive. Okay, so this is to distinguish it from all of the other gay hookup apps already out there. How many fucking versions do you need to stick your dick through a hole at the Port Authority? Okay, I mean, that's what it is. All these people who think uh, you're designing the propulsion system for the space ark to go to the next solar system, uh, 10 light years away. You're not doing any legitimate engineering. Okay, you're just making a website. Well, it's like Angie's Reviews, but it's for dogs. Oh, okay. Why don't you just use Angie's Review? And then they'll give this smirk like, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. It's like Angie's Reviews, bro. I didn't say it was Angie's Reviews. It was Angie's Review for dog walkers, okay? It was Angie's Review, but for carpenters, okay? Do you trust your schnauzer, the person who picks up after your schnauzer? Okay, is he vetted? Okay, let me see the Carfax, bro. Let me see the Carfax. Okay, um, so yeah, yeah, you hold up STEM as though it's as though it were science as practiced in in Galileo's age, or in the 16, 17, 1800s. It's not like that anymore. Okay, what does STEM mean? Okay, STEM means either one of two things. You're working on debugging the latest dog Snapchat filter, or a wreck dick finder, to help gay people meet up more easily and further spread the HIV around, uh, or you're a lab monkey and you're pipetting fluids up and down in a wet lab. Okay, that's what it means. You're not doing any innovative work. It's not Thomas Edison and his Think Factory and his Menlo Park Creation Lab studio. It's not like that. Okay, it's bullshit. Okay, it's rote monkey work. Okay, there's no inspiration, there's no innovation. Okay, it's very tedious and it's very boring. Okay, and I'm subscribed to, I get alerts and messages for, you know, people in academia, and they have different programs designed to for recruiting, hiring new professors, the next generation of professors, the next crop, whatever you want to call them. And pretty much, I don't have the right stuff. I don't have the right stuff. Um, I'm not a member of a historically underrepresented racial minority group. And they have like bizarre criteria. So, if you're Latino, if you're black, if you're Amerindian, if you're Pacific Islander but not Asian, okay, we don't want any fucking Asians, okay? Pacific Islanders, okay, they are underrepresented, okay, and they have a rich culture of throwing people into volcanoes. It's beautiful, okay, and surfboarding, okay, so many things, and drinking out of coconuts. Okay, they have so much to teach us. Everything I learned about Pacific Islanders, I learned from watching Gilligan's Island. Um, and they have other criteria. Are handicapped. Well, I could probably, some of these are, they're up for debate. Can you, are you am I handicapped? Well, I guess it depends on what your definition of is. Could I be mentally adjudicated? Perhaps. Perhaps these videos are me creating a portfolio to submit for my disability claim. You never know. You never know. Um, the other criteria: are you a member of a sexual orientation or gender identity minority? Well, I mean, I could always claim to be, right? I mean, I don't think they're going to demand you suck a dick in front of them, like during the interview process. Are they going to say, okay, now, we know you love the dick. Now show us just how much. How much do you love it? I mean, I could take like fake photos, like catfishing experiments. It'll be like catfishing in reverse, where these retards take like male model photos and they use them in Tinder experiments. I could take male model photos and make a collage and put them on my desk and say that's my husband or that's my gay lover, right? I mean, Yeah, you got to do what you got to do what it takes. You got to go where the jobs are, sonny boy. You didn't want to move to California. You didn't want to move to San Francisco. Well, tough shit. That's Aaron Clary's patented smirk, condescending smirk. Oh, you didn't want to move across the country and leave everybody and everything you knew behind. Tough shit. Don't mind me. I'm gonna go ride my motorcycle up and down. Route 66 a couple more times. But you people, do as I say, not as I do. Okay, I didn't major in STEM, but I'm telling you to major in STEM. Oh, you don't want to go, to Austin, Texas. You didn't want to move to L.A. Tough shit, tough shit. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go cruise the Badlands. I'm gonna go to Yellowstone again because that's what I do. But you people, you go to San Francisco. You go where the jobs are. Okay, just be like a tumbleweed. Go where the jobs carry you. Um, oh, so the other criteria for becoming a new faculty member in STEM. Again, I mean, I could claim to be a homosexual. I don't know how they'd prove that I'm not. I mean, they certainly won't see me cavorting with women. It's not like they're going to. I have no chance. That's one of the few upsides of being TFL incel. You're never going to be caught, in flagrante delicto having sex with a woman on your desk at work. So I could probably pass the sniff test on being a homosexual. It's not like they're going to see me in the company of women. So I could, I could probably pass for that. Handicapped, I'll ride a mobility scooter. Give me a rascal. Okay, I'll go to Sturgis on that thing. Um, what's the other one? Oh, veteran status. Veteran status. I'm not sure why they give preferential treatment to veterans. I don't see how, you know, operating a, you know, prison camp at Abu Ghraib it qualifies you to be a professor, but apparently it does. You know, mental torture and physical torture techniques where they made the well, they're not POWs because then we'd have to treat them like human beings and not in accordance with the Geneva Convention. So, well, let's just call them prisoners. They're not prisoners of war, but they're prisoners. They turned them into like a human Christmas tree. Put a bag on their head and made them stand on a box. And I think they told them if they fell off, they'd be electrocuted. Um, that's what we need as future professors. Okay, if you raped and murdered a woman in Fallujah, as a U.S. Army soldier, that right there tells me you have what it takes to be America's next top university professor. Okay, sticking needles under people's fingernails and um, gouging out their eyes and waterboarding people. Come on, that has America's Next Top University Professor written all over it. So, but unfortunately, I can't fake a veteran status. I could find a camo jacket at the Goodwill, but um, I think checking my status as a proud Marine, U.S. Marine Sam Hyde is they can find out pretty easily. So some of these you can fake, others you can't. But the point is, why do you want to major in something where you're not welcome? Okay, when they are doing everything short of saying "fuck you," you're not wanted. Why do you keep coming around like some stray cat? Okay, everybody's kicking the cat. They're throwing rocks at the cat, and the cat still comes around. It's like, how many different ways do you have to be told "fuck you" before you get the message? Okay, you're still coming around. It's like, oh, I see everybody but me, women, racial minorities, transsexuals, handicapped people, war criminals. They're all given scholarships and fellowships and preferential hiring, but I'm still going to major in STEM because, boy, howdy, I want to prove to the world that I can do it. I can do it. Again, you're not doing great things. Okay, it's not the space race. You're not putting a man on the moon. You're putting a man on another man. Okay, that's what you're doing. Okay, we went from 50 years ago trying to put a man on the moon to today. Can we put a man on another man? Can we help? Can we help this gay man have uh, consequence-free homosexual relations? I challenge this nation to commit it. What? How did it go? I challenge this nation to meeting the goal by the end of, but before this decade is through, of putting another man on another man. Uh, that's what you're doing. Okay, how many, again? How many versions and variations of Angie's List do we need? Okay, I mean, this is just the same shit from fucking 20 years ago, okay, with the first .com bubble, okay, where they were like coming up with, oh, let's sell pet food online. Okay, we've done it. Okay, how many different ways of doing the same thing do we need? Um, Moreover, you just see, even if you do go into STEM and you manage to accomplish something, your accomplishments are just appropriated. What is the new movie coming out about the landing Apollo 11, and they replaced the American flag with no flag? It's like, I don't know, they CGI edited out the American flag, so it just looks like Neil Armstrong is like twisting an invisible dick into the soil. He's just like twisting it and twisting it, and it's just been edited out. There's no flag there anymore. It's just, or maybe they take the flag but they leave the pole, so it just looks like he's churning butter on the lunar surface. Or maybe they change it to a rainbow flag. Uh, Maybe they just change it to a rainbow flag. And these people are so dumb, they don't even know their own history. In addition to planting the flag, they put a plaque that said, on, I think it was July 20th, 1969, uh, humankind visited the surface of another world for the first time. We came in peace for all mankind. Now that sounds quite inclusive, right? That sounds like, wow, I mean, it sounds quite inclusive. We came in peace for all mankind. And the plaque didn't say Americans came here. It said, on this day, humans from the planet Earth set foot on another world for the first time. These people don't even know their own history. I mean, this is what you're dealing with. This is what you're dealing with. Yes, they had the American flag, but they also had the plaque that was very, shall we say, inclusive. It talked about humanity. It talked about the world. You don't need to make a fucking movie where you edit out the American flag. They already thought of that in 1969. They put a plaque on the moon, and it was talking about the common brotherhood of man. But these people are so stupid. Okay, it's like a goldfish. They have a 3-second memory. They have no past. They have no future. They just exist in the moment, swimming around, swimming around. It doesn't know anything. It has no memory. It has, yeah, just no memory. But you saw with like Hidden Figures, right? We're going to take the accomplishments of German POWs, German scientists captured under Operation Paperclip, Werner von Braun, and we're just going to whitewash or blackwash history. We're going to take everything that you did and we're going to say a different group of people did it. That's what we're going to do. If you don't like it, tough shit, because you don't exist anymore. So everything that those captured German scientists who worked on the V2 rocket, Werner von Braun, all of those people at the Redstone Arsenal, we're just going to take what you did and say it was 3 sassy black mamas. Okay, and same thing, whatever. The video game, right? Video game Battlefield 1, World War One game. And I was watching what's that YouTuber's channel, Rageaholic, and he goes, "Why the fuck does every second character look like DMX?" And I guess they're making Battlefield 5, and I guess it's going to be a World War II game, and it has like a woman with like a bionic hand. It's like you're not even pretending you're not even trying to make this historically accurate. And then the response was like, if you don't like it, don't buy it. The response was literally suck a dick. It's like, there were, aside from a few female Russian snipers, a few female Soviet snipers who did kill quite a few people. There were Soviet female snipers. There really weren't women in combat roles. The only role that I know of is, like I said, Soviet female snipers. And that would be believable. I mean, if you had a World War II video game and one of the characters was a sniper for the Soviets that was a woman, yeah, that is historically accurate. But it's like a woman with like a steampunk bionic hand, and it's like, so the whole point is this is the core message. Um, your accomplishments are going to be appropriated and passed around and credited to others. At the same time, you're going to be blamed for things that you didn't do. So the good things that you did do, the good things you accomplished, the things you invented, we're going to say somebody else did those. And all of the bad things, we're going to say that it was you. So, instead of, saying it was a few rich prick plantation owners in the South and La Happy Merchant who engaged in the slave trade, just like today, it's the elites, the corporate elites who bring in foreign workers, foreign scabs. It's the billionaires. Well, it was the equivalent of the Silicon Valley tech moguls 150 years ago, 200 years ago, more. The agrarian elites who owned their cotton fields, cotton plantations, tobacco plantations, and they didn't want to pay white people. They didn't want to pay Americans to do that. They wanted more money. They wanted more profit. So that's why they imported slaves. Okay. It's the same aristocratic class, the same class of elites. They didn't want to pay uh, Americans to do that job 200 years ago, 250, 300 years ago, um, and they don't want to do it today. So they imported slaves who occasionally would, sorry, Tiger got out of its cage, went on a slave insurrection, slave revolt. What was it? The Stono Rebellion, Nat Turner's Rebellion, uh, what was it? Gabriel Nat Turner's Rebellion, all of these different slave insurrections. Well, it's the price you pay. It's the same thing. You have these big agribusinesses today, uh, often owned by Republicans, and well, sometimes the migrants they rape and murder. Molly tidbits. Well, it's sorry, bro. Tiger got out of his cage, bro. Tiger got off his leash. Okay, it happens. Okay, it's that hot Latin blood. Okay, come on, bro. You got to understand it. Okay, so it's the same elites, the same aristocratic class. They were screwing over their own countrymen hundreds of years ago, and they're doing it today. So, but anyway, we're getting off the subject about STEM. Point is, if you manage to accomplish something, we're going to yoink, we're going to take that accomplishment and divvy it up. Meanwhile, the fuck ups are going to be placed on you. So it's like the best of both worlds. Uh, you get robbed of your accomplishments and you get saddled with guilt and responsibility for things you didn't do. But yeah, just keep majoring in STEM. Meanwhile, these people, they love to ridicule women. Oh, women are majoring in stupid things. Women are majoring in uh, feminist studies. Well, no, actually, if you look at the top universities, women right, for the first time ever, now make up precisely half of the incoming class in engineering. Okay. Not only do they make up a majority of students at the university in general, they now make up a majority, or at least half, of students in engineering. Okay. They basically dominate every department. Okay. So it's not that they're majoring in stupid shit anymore. Okay, don't believe me? Look it up. Look up the top schools and look up the numbers. Now, yes, does it vary by what type of engineering? Sure. You'll have more women in biological engineering and chemical engineering than you will in, say electrical, but overall, half of the students in STEM are now women. Okay. And even the ones who do major in stupid shit, social work. Um, Social workers are doing fucking fantastic. Okay, they're fucking backed up for months. You can't get in to see a social worker, a psychiatrist. It goes. You can wait months and months. Okay, this country has so many fucked up, broken people on meds. Okay, these social workers can take whatever work or dismiss whatever work as they see fit. Okay, they are in high demand. Okay, unlike people who graduate in engineering can't find a fucking job. Uh, mm, oh, but women they want super genes. They want to be fucked by big centaur men. Poseidon. They want that's what they want. They want to be split in twain. Yeah, that's why I see them all hugging their little octopus retard babies. Uh, you think women want some child with an IQ of 250? Come on. These people are so out of touch with reality. It's frightening. Let me take a look here at the comments. Omaha Beach was a giant disabled access ramp. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That was the Nazis' major military error. No, no, it wasn't that it was a giant disabled access ramp. It was that those evil Nazis, they were evil for a lot of reasons, but the biggest reason was because they didn't include a handicap accessible wheelchair ramp at Omaha Beach. Okay, all of their fortifications, that was their Achilles heel. Okay, was overlooking in the contract work, making it handicap accessible, and for that they lost the war. Yeah, yeah. Uh, just I don't know why people think majoring in STEM is so fulfilling. Okay, mostly I think it's because the people telling you that it's fulfilling are people who never actually majored in it. Okay, they majored in finance. They majored. It's like the Hardy Boys. What do we call this gang? This what do we call it? The Hateful Eight. I don't know what do we call these people like Davis Arini and Aaron Cleary. Aaron Cleary majored in finance. Arini was what was he? He majored in history, I think. History, I want to say. None of these people majored in STEM, okay? And I think Roosh majored in microbiology, and I don't think he's ever said a peep about it. I don't, to his credit, I don't think he's ever told anybody to major in STEM. Oh yeah, millennial woes, telling people to major in STEM when I think he majored in philosophy. Which is not to knock these things. I mean, they're interesting. It's interesting to study literature. It's interesting to study history. Uh, Engineering is fucking boring. It's difficult. It doesn't ever it gets less difficult in the sense that usually what you learn you never actually have to use. Um, if you go into programming, unless you're doing simulations, you're really never going to use calculus. It's pretty much you're using your arrays. That's it. You're not doing you're not doing calculus, okay? But you have to learn it anyway. Um, Unless you're doing some simulations, the math you use is minimal. Um, but yeah, the people who tell everyone else, major in STEM. It's so fulfilling. No, it's not fulfilling. Like I said, it's horribly boring, repetitive, tedious. Um, Oftentimes, you're exposing yourself to poor working conditions, environmental hazards, chemicals that are known as what are they called? Teratogenic, meaning they're or mutagens, meaning they fuck your sperm up. Um, these are not nice things to be working with on a daily basis. Um, Certain things, if you expose yourself to what is it? Hydrofluoric acid. Uh, it's a bone seeker. Basically, eats its way through your flesh to the bone, and you have to keep like a certain antidote, a certain cream available at all times to basically prevent yourself from dying in the event of a workplace snafu. If you're doing stuff like in say the semiconductor industry, A lot of the etching is done with hydrofluoric acid. So it's like you've got to keep this antidote available at all times. It's like this is no, none of this sounds pleasant. Okay, none of this. Compare this to sitting in front of a roaring fire. Uh, you know, doing a feminist critique of whatever. Okay, well, which one of these sound? You're underneath the covers, you're drinking a hot cocoa, versus, oh shit, where's the ointment? Oh shit, where's the antidote? This shit's going right to my bones. And oh well, maybe it's not a fun job, but at least you get paid a lot of money, right? No, no, you don't. Okay, wages for STEM have been stagnant since 2000. Okay, for 20 years. For 20 years. Um, Moreover, do you want to move to California? Do you want to move to San Francisco, Seattle, Boston? I mean, these are where the jobs are. So if you're not willing to move, again, if you happen to have family there, if that's where you're from, well, you know, good for you. Good for you. That's maybe it makes sense to work, at Intel or IBM or Google. If you have family right there, that's where you grew up. It's like, well, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? If, on the other hand, like probably 90% of people, you have no friends there, you have no family there, you have no fucking reason to move there. Okay, are you? Again, it goes by demographics. If you're Mexican, if you're Hispanic, yeah, living in Southern California, that would probably make sense. Are you Chinese? Yeah, then living in San Francisco makes sense. Um, are you black? Well, then living in Atlanta, or maybe Texas, or if you're Hispanic, yeah, that makes sense. If if you're not from that part, you have no friends, no family there, why the fuck would you just uproot and move to Seattle? Why? You have no reason to be there aside from the job. So you're trapped in this cyclical reasoning. It's like, well, I have to move for the job, and then I have the job, so I got to stay here. Um, and the cost of living, I'm not going to repeat myself, but everything is indexed to the cost of living. And 100 grand sounds great, but once you take into account the high taxes and the incredibly high cost of living in Seattle, San Francisco, LA, uh, you quickly realize you're not really getting ahead. Okay, you can look up what a literal rocket scientist, an aerospace propulsion expert at SpaceX in Los Angeles makes, and it's like $85,000 a year. What do you think your standard of living is, like in LA, making $85,000 a year? It's pretty bad. Okay. And it's not just, quality of living. It's like I said, you're surrounded by people who aren't like you. I mean, do you want to be the only white person in a Hispanic neighborhood? Okay, then go work at SpaceX. Have fun. Go, work at Tesla, whatever. Um, but like I said, these jobs are not enjoyable. Again, yeah, something like, being a psychiatrist, it's pretty fucking easy. You get to sit in an air-conditioned office, take a few notes, ask some questions. Were you ever molested by a priest? Did were you ever diddled? Show me on this doll where the priest used to touch you. I mean, that's easy. That's easy compared to legitimate, work in STEM. I mean, why? The question is, why do you want to work harder than you have to? Okay, if you can make the same amount of money or have the same standard of living, sitting on a couch taking a few notes, um, providing counseling, I got news for you. Most of these psychiatrists, the whole field is bullshit because you're not important. Okay, the only way to really kind of help somebody with their issues would be as if you had like a dedicated biographer. Okay, nobody is important enough to warrant such dedication. We see people, they write biographies about Winston Churchill and Hitler and Stalin, and they dedicate their whole lives to finding every little correspondence and letter, and they're like, aha, this is what made him hate the Jews, this is what made him hate and do this. W- Nobody here is that important. Okay, you get 20 minutes a week and nobody cares. Okay, you're nothing. Okay, you're not Winston Churchill. Okay, so they're not going to find the reason for why. What was it, the episode of The Simpsons where it turns out, Marge's fear of flying is due to her being traumatized as a child, when she finds out that instead of being a pilot, her father is actually an airline steward or stewardess giving out peanuts on the plane, and that so traumatized her that she never wanted to get on a plane again. You're not going to have that, okay? So it's an easy job. It's not like you're fucking you're driving around in the mystery machine trying to really get to the root of why these people are so crazy and fucked up. Okay, all you have to do is like listen to them for 20 minutes a week, and boom, you get 150 bucks for that session. Okay, um, sounds a lot easier to me than, you know being in STEM, which means chemistry, orgochemistry, biochemistry, calculus 1 through 3. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to punish yourself? Why why do you want to? There are like two routes. One is smooth sailing, and the other is this, you know, winding back and forth, tortuous little goat path up the mountain. Okay, why do you want to take the difficult route? Okay, nobody is going to give you a medal for that. Nobody is going to respect you more for that. Okay, we don't live in that type of world anymore. Okay, let me look here at the comments. Take a break here. Uh, yeah, it's, I guess, the Puritan, the Cuckworth, that work ethic, but it just doesn't make sense. I mean, all of these people, even whatever, working in so-called menial job, whether you're driving a little Zamboni up and down the aisles at Walmart at 3 a.m. or you're stocking shelves, these people are getting by. Okay, they're not living in mass um, shanty towns on, the outskirts of town. Okay, they're all not living underneath the viaduct, underneath the bridge, like the ghost of what was the ghost of Tom Joad. uh but they're getting on with life. Okay, they're getting by. They're not living in this, like, rusty shanty town like you see in, the surrounding, like, Nairobi, Kenya, and it's just like acres and acres of little rusty tin huts. It's not like that. Okay, yeah, these people have a menial job. Yeah, their job is to put the cans of Prey Goo on the shelf, but you know what, they're getting by, and they didn't need 25 years of schooling to do that before they were deemed marketable, before they were deemed employable. It was just, you know, putting cans of Prey Goo on the shelf right now, not 20 years from now, after after you graduate with your two master's degrees. They just got on with it. Um, let's see here. Yeah, but these people are wrong about just everything, about women in particular, what women want, what women desire. Um, oh yeah, you got to work out, bro. You got to get work out, get swole. Women love it. Women love it. Oh, what's the other big lie? It's like the David Allen Coe song, the three. What was it? The three biggest lies. Uh, Men age like fine wine. This is, you'll hear this amongst all these people. They're like, yeah, women, they won't pay you any attention when you're a teenager, when you're in your 20s, but just hold on, boys, because when you get to age 55, oh yeah, you're not gonna be able to. You're gonna have to, you get a fly swatter to keep these women off of you. They're gonna be on you like white on rice when you're 50. When you're 50, yeah, your golden years. That's, just bide your time. But the victory favors the patient mind. Just wait it out. Just wait it out. Just sit there, decade after decade, enduring being alone. And for some reason, when you hit 50, everything changes. Women hit the wall, they collide with that wall, and suddenly you, as a 50-year-old impotent gray-haired man, suddenly you're desirable. Okay, never mind the fact that every day on the news there's a report of some 20-year-old female teacher being caught having sex with her 13-year-old male student. Okay, just ignore that. Okay, trust me, bro. Women love old men. Okay, they especially love balding, pot-bellied men who ride a mobility scooter. Okay, um, get like a mobility scooter and with a like a quirky, bumper sticker that says like "I brake for vegans." My other mobility scooter is the Millennial Falcon. That's how you show that you're witty, okay? And uh that's how you do it, okay? When you turn 50, that's when the women start swooping down on you, okay? I know it's a bit like crossing the desert right now, okay? But trust me, when you hit 50, they're going to be dive bombing you, the women, okay? The teenage girls, the 20-year-old girls, they're going to be swooping down on you, okay? Just you're going to be having so many options when you turn 50, okay? Because men age like fine wine. Okay. And the other big thing is women need men for provisioning, for resources. Again, not from where I sit. Okay. Um, not from where I sit. They're doing just fine with by their own, I wouldn't say merit, but legitimately they have a job, whether they get that on merit or they get it on a count of preferential hiring, biased hiring practices. They do get that job. Yes, perhaps the work is a make work job. So tell me about your problems. Or being a whatever bank person, bank teller. We still have bank tellers. Okay, we still have these people. Um, you know, but don't go into trucking because we're going to have self-driving big rigs. Okay, we still have human toll booth attendants. Still, we have human toll booth operators. We still have people washing cars by hand at the Delta Sonic. But those cars, taxi drivers, long distance big rig drivers, they're going to be out of a job. Because the robots are coming and they're not going to be forgiving. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to take my self-driving car to the Delta Sonic, and there the humans will wash my self-driving car. And on the way home, we'll hit the highway, and the little self-driving car it'll have a little retractable snout, a little retractable robotic hand, and it will give the 75 cents to the human toll booth attendant. So it'll be like a steampunk, best of both worlds type thing. Um, but oh yeah, men age like fine wine, and women hit the wall at 27. Yeah, they're invisible after 27, and they love old men. They love them. They love Santa Claus. Chris Kringle, with the crinkles around his eyes, and the sunburnt leathery skin. They love that. Okay, they absolutely love that. Give me a minute here. I just need to wet my whistle. I've been going, so let me just mute this for a sec. All right. I had to wet my whistle. I don't think that guy's coming back. Um, let's see here. But anyway, these people with their lies and just all of them. Women go for old men. They love older men. I won't say old, older men. Age 50, yeah. Men age like fine wine. Sure they do. Uh, Again, that's why every day there's some 23, 24 year old female teacher getting caught with her 12 or 11-year old male student. I mean, these aren't even teenagers. They're not even teenagers that they're being caught with. Um, just so many lies and falsehoods. Women are miserable. No, no. I mean, I know, I understand that you wish they were miserable. I understand the desire for this ultimate vindication. Like, yes, men are miserable now. Yes, men are living incel TFL. Yes, men are unwanted by and large by women, by the opposite sex, by by institutions, by universities, by pretty much everyone. But you know, in the end, they'll be vindicated. In the end, it turns out women are secretly miserable. They just look like they're having the time of their lives. Okay. It just appears like that to the untrained eye, that they're having a gay old time, that they're living it up, partying, going for brunch with their sorority sisters. It's only an illusion. Okay. Secretly, they're miserable. Secretly, they're all going to commit mass suicide, that they're that miserable. No, no, not from where I view it. Okay. They look to be very fucking happy, very content, or they can at least trick themselves into being uh, happy and content. Okay, no, maybe they don't have a child. Okay, maybe they are childless, but they sure okay, they're going to be an auntie, or they're going to be a little mother to a kitten or a cat or a dog. um, they put on a good show. I'll give it to them. They seem to be pretty fucking happy, and they seem to be balancing it all. They're traveling, they're going here, they're going there. Everything's coming up roses for them. um, let's see. Let's see. Again, people can cite all of these statistics that women are on antidepressants. This may be true, but again, look at the content. Just look at what's out there. Shouldn't there be some manifestation, some outward manifestation of women being miserable? I mean, shouldn't we? We're all familiar with these incel channels, of which one of my, is mine for the most part. But in general, these MGTOW channels, they're not happy places. These people, the way they speak, if you analyze the manner in which they speak, the frequency with which they post, uh, the cadence of their voice, etc. These are not happy people. I'm not a happy person. You have a lot of these channels on YouTube. Okay, even if they're not, you could take somebody who's focused on whatever news. You take somebody like Styx Hexenhammer. Does he strike you as a happy person? No, no, he doesn't. Even those who are not focused, strictly red pill, black pill, MGTOW, whatever. These for the most part, the males on YouTube who have some outward manifestation, outward, uh, you know, interaction with the world, something that they post, they're not happy people. Okay, they don't seem happy. They seem very dissatisfied, and I don't see a similar number of women posting on, posting whether it's tweets on Twitter or videos on YouTube, like you see with men. Like it's some crazy fucking shit show story on, you know, migrants raped a 10-year-old German boy. Um, Girl was, raped and murdered by a Mexican illegal. Um, you know, uh, Women are celebrating that they had 10 abortions. It's like they're at least celebrating it. I mean, they're smiling. I mean, it's fucking satanic and fiendish and devilish, but they seem to be, euphoric, euphoric. Nope, I don't see any analogous version of how men are posting. Again, any website, Breitbart, Infowars, American Renaissance, anything like that, where men are generally discontent and dissatisfied with something. Okay, their lives, the way the world is going, etc. I don't see a similar manifestation on the behalf of women. Okay, they seem to be, if not happy with things, at least not terribly perturbed by them either. Okay, I don't see them being despondent to the degree that men are. Okay, maybe they're just not following it. Maybe they're not perturbed by it. In some cases they're probably happy. Like 2 million more immigrants. Yeah, sign me up for that. That is awesome. Okay, they're just trying to, they just want a better life. Okay, everybody loves America. It's totes amazing. Everybody wants to come here. Okay, everybody come here right now. Okay, group hug. Maybe they actually like that. Okay, and if they're not, totally supportive with, you know whatever, mass immigration or crime or changing social mores, at least they're not complaining about it. I mean, they're not to the degree that men are. I mean, every site, every video is some lamentation, of, the lack of tradition, um, increasing lack of religiosity, increasing lack or decreasing national identity, national cohesion, etc. Women, it doesn't seem to bother women. Okay, whatever's happening, they seem pretty much okay. They seem, if not, euphoric. Oftentimes they do seem euphoric. I mean, the only time like a woman has like a, men have, suicide, and they're, addicted, and things like that. The only time it seems a woman uh, meets an untimely end is when she parties too much. It's like, she falls off the balcony at her resort hotel. Like she got so drunk and did so much drugs, it was death by misadventure. She fell off the balcony from, the seventh floor, and she cracked her head open on the pavement below. It's not like these other, like, men, they're hanging themselves in a closet, uh or, they drink themselves deliberately to death. um like with women, if something happens, something untoward, it's like, well, at least she went out doing what she loved. She did all that coke, all those rails of coke, and all, she drank that whole bottle of Bacardi, and then she fell over the balcony. Wow. She went out doing what she loved. So let's see here. But point is, don't listen to people who give you bad advice. Majoring in STEM is not a good thing. Uh, Moreover, people who say, "Oh, don't take out any loans for college. Don't do that. Stay out of debt." The majority of debt is held by women. Don't take out loans. Again, this is not the people who advocate these things. They advocate this self-reliance. Okay, I'll tell you why they're doing it. They're doing it because they're jealous, and they regret not doing that when they had the opportunity to do so. people who always caution others about don't you dare go into debt, don't do it. You work 3 jobs if you have to. You live in a centipede infested basement with radon if you have to. Notice, who's saying that, right? Aaron Clarey. Live. He always like thinks that that's something to be proud of. That he lived in a frozen basement with no running water for years. I mean, you do realize this is not good for your health, right? Living in the basement in the Midwest where there's a lot of radon in the basement. Okay. Uh, yeah, live with the centipedes and the radon. Uh, no, no, that's not good for you. Okay. You sacrificed your health and well-being to save some shekels. Uh, well, you work 3 jobs to pay it off. Why the fuck would you risk your health? You want to give yourself an ulcer? You want to give yourself high blood pressure working 3 jobs to pay off debt? Fuck it. Okay. Moreover, it's probably going to come a time very shortly where either the debt will be forgiven. Okay. You will have somebody like a Bernie Sanders who will forgive the debt, or hiring will be based. One of the factors that will go into hiring, whether you get the job, whether you get the promotion, whether you get the raise, one of the factors will be your amount of debt. So deciding between 2 people, well, they're going to favor the person who has to, and I put that in quote marks, somebody who has to actually pay off 200, $300,000 of debt. So you know what? She deserves that raise. She needs it. She needs that raise. She really needs this job. So you don't have any debt. So you know what? You don't really need the job. You don't really need the promotion. You don't need the raise. So probably sometime soon we will see as one of the key factors in hiring, promotions, etc. It's going to be, well, how deeply in debt are you? And it used to be the opposite. Like, it was seen as problematic. You could not get security clearance for the government if you were, say, $100,000 in debt, if you had a gambling problem, because it was seen as a way to compromise you. During the Cold War, you might be blackmailed. You might be an easy target for spies. They could offer you, some money to make all of your financial woes disappear if you gave them some top secret information. So they would not hire you as like a CIA, FBI agent if you had really bad financial problems. That's probably going to change. Okay, it's probably going to be a consideration. The more debt you have, well, hey, she really needs this promotion, bro. She's got a lot of student loan debt to pay off. If you have no debt, well, you don't need that raise every year. You're good. You're good. Um, Again, we're not living in this era of debtors' prisons where if you didn't pay back a loan, you were sent to this prison ship that was moored in the River Thames, and it was like Charles Dickens England. You had all people living in these horrible conditions, rats on these waterlogged ships. It's not like that anymore. Okay, N- nothing is going to happen. What, uh, you won't get a lease for your Bugatti? Oh no, you're not going to give me a lease for that brand new Jaguar. Oh fuck. Oh, what am I without a Jaguar? You mean I'll have to get a used car? Oh, that's so beneath me. That's so beneath me. Um, and there was some candidate, I don't know, running for state senate or something, and she had like 300 grand in student loan debt, credit card debt, etc. And she came right out and said, My debt should not disqualify me from running." And she's right. I mean, I don't think there's a law that forbids you from holding public office, even if you're deeply, you know, mired in debt. And probably that'll help her relate to her constituents. They're like, yeah, I don't want to pay my debt off either. If America has money to, fight foreign wars and give free medical care to people who come across the border, I mean, we're just scooping people up. we're scooping up people out of the ocean, scooping up people from the Mediterranean. We're scooping up people from the middle of Africa, bringing them here. You crawl, you walk, crawl, or roll across the border. You get free medical. But you, as a citizen, pay off your fucking debt. You deadbeat. You fucking deadbeat. How dare you? How dare you not pay back what you owe? You signed, didn't you? You put your paw print. Okay, it's like painting with dogs. Have like a little tray with paint, liquid paint, and you put their paw in it. Then they sign with their paw print. Well, you put your paw print, you put your nose print on the dotted line, people. So you make good on it. And again, these people say like conflicting things. Enjoy the decline, but then pay back what you owe. You signed a letter of agreement. You signed what is it called? When you get a promissory note. You signed a promissory note. Make good on that. Meanwhile, everybody else, they just, whether they get here by plane, train, taxi cab, pedicab, ride across on an armadillo. If they get here, they get to stay and they get lots of free stuff, free medical, free housing. But you, as a citizen, fuck you. Fuck you. Pay your bills, okay? Pay back every red penny. Okay? It's not give a penny, leave a penny. Okay? You fill that tray up with pennies, okay? Other people here, other people who aren't citizens, they get to take a penny. Okay? Not you. Not you. Okay? You follow the rules. Everybody else, they get to do what they want. Okay? You have to follow the rules. Okay? You need to pay for health insurance. Other people, they just go to the emergency room. Okay? You need to pay $50,000 if you want to have your wife give birth in a hospital. If you're here illegally, just go to the emergency room and it's all covered for free. Okay? So just keep playing by the rules while everybody else doesn't, and somehow you'll still win. Age 50, women will love that. They'll love somebody who, you know, follows the rules and, spent their whole life, trying to get to where somebody else at age 18 was already at. Just do the right thing. Okay. Pay back your loans, never mind that, America has plenty of money for foreign wars and bringing in migrants and refugees, and never mind that. Okay. You have to do the honorable thing. Okay. Because what are, if you don't keep your word, right? You have to keep your word. It's not like, what are words? That's sacred. Okay. Words aren't just, compressions and rarefactions of air molecules. Words have meaning, right? Let me look at the comments here. Oh, it's the same. Yeah, if somebody says some of those Aaron Clary things are fake. Yeah, well, the same thing with what? Sandman, another promulgator of falsehoods, right? Every day he's got a donation. And interestingly, every one of them sounds like they were written by the same person. You would think if you had people from the whole world, different. Some spoke English as their first and only language. Some spoke it barely at all. Some were writing from Hindustan. They were writing from Punjabi. You would think those letters to Sandman, instead of letters to Santa, it's letters to Sandman. You would think these letters would sound different, right? Like you would think some of them he'd be like struggling, like, oh man, this guy's grammar is real fucked up. But they're all seemingly written by somebody who speaks Canadian English at a reasonably decent level. Wow, that's weird. In Dear Sandman, please find enclosed $25. Keep doing what you're doing, brah. And they all have like these stupid. Yeah, you were right. I turned 50 and women love me. I started going gray and losing my hair, and the teenage girls they all started wanting to sit on my lap. I went from zero to hero. I went from being totally an invisible incel for the first 50 years of my life. But when I turned 50, when I got my AARP card, yeah, then the waitresses, they started flirting with me. And they said, Can I, can I run my fingers through your just for men gray beard? Instead of, yeah, Gandalf the Gray. That's what all the young teenage girls call me at the Delta Sonic when I drive up in my Corvette. They call me Gandalf the Gray. Yeah, they say, "Who's that good-looking silver fox? Who's that? Gandalf the Gray?" Somebody says no one is going to loan you money if they don't make anything off of it. Like I said, if you don't like it, you don't have to go into debt. Nothing forcing you. I mean, there is a smart way to do it. If and you should, absolutely take out student loans. Smart thing to do is always take out federal student loans. Don't take them out through, Wells Fargo. Um, it is much more forgiving. Yes, student loans can't be technically forgiven. Well, they can be after about 20 years. They are forgiven, but different repayment plans based on income. Okay, those are only exist when you get a loan through the federal government. If you get your student loan through Fannie Mae, Sallie Mae, Freddie Mac, Sallie Mae, those types of lending entities, they don't care if you don't make money. They still expect to get paid. So they're like a loan shark breaking your kneecaps. With a federal student loan, there are a lot more options based on how much money you're making, what your income is, what if you're disabled, etc. It's much more forgiving. So there's a smart way to do it. It's not a good idea to go through a private lender because those will never be forgiven. Um, Even if say some socialist candidate, somebody like a Bernie Sanders was to take office, it would be kind of hard for them to intervene with private student loans. But with federal student loans, yeah, those would be the ones that would be forgiven. Um, so, there's a smart way to do it. Again, you have to be thinking about yourself. You know, what's good for me? Yeah, rational self-preservation. Okay, it's not about, okay, I don't care if somebody can't make money. Okay, that isn't my fucking problem. And this seems to be um, the common thread that all of these people have. Okay, like Red Pill Germany, he's like, yeah, keep majoring in STEM, keep majoring in STEM. Society needs you. Society needs men. What, to keep the lights on, to keep the sewers from backing up? Like, tough shit. Okay, we don't live in a fascist society. If we did, okay, I'm not saying that would be bad, but I'm saying there's a certain reciprocity. The state takes care of you, and in return you are loyal to the state. Whatever the state needs, you provide. Okay, and in exchange the state takes care of you, makes you number one. Okay, it doesn't put foreigners above you, which is what we have in the West. Okay, in the West, the indigenous peoples, okay, the native peoples are actually treated as second class citizens, and the foreigners, the refugees, they're treated as the top class. And you've seen this in what is it in Britain? So there's some mayor, and he's like from Nigeria, and he was like, it's like an honorary title or something, but it shows him and he's like wearing Timberlands and he's like squatting on this ancient table. And all of the previous mayors of, I don't know, what is it, Bedfordshire, some British town, and he's like wearing like just these like these wacky clothes, and like he's just made like he's made such a a farce, such a joke of this office that had, been in existence. This title had been in existence for, 400, 500 years or something. And it shows him like squatting on top of this oak table. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. This isn't a fascist country. The governments don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about your health. They don't care about your well being. They don't care about whether it's too costly to have a child. They don't care about you. They don't give a shit. Okay. So why do you care what the country needs? Okay. Okay. Everybody says we need more STEM majors. How is that my fucking problem? Okay. Oh, you need to remain competitive globally? Not my fucking problem. Okay. We don't live in a fascist world or a fascist country. America's problems are not my problems. If Germany claims that it needs more engineers to compete with China, I'd say tough shit. It looks like you're going to lose. Okay, yeah, yeah. America needs to retain its global competitiveness. It's not my fucking problem. Not my problem. Okay, when was the last time America did anything for you? Okay, I didn't ask for Iraq to be invaded. I didn't ask for, millions of illegals to come here. Okay, America doesn't care about you. Your country, if you live in the West, if you live in a democracy, they don't care about you. So why in turn should you care what they need? Oh, well, America needs more STEM majors. It needs more engineers. Uh it needs uh it needs this, it needs more pharmacists. I would say tough shit. I don't care. It's not my problem. Isn't that the whole message of the West, is one of extreme independence, one of extreme selfishness? It's do what you want. If it feels good, do it. Okay. If it feels good, maybe even do it twice. Ha 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 ha. It's not one of sacrifice and okay, you can't reconcile these two different paradigms. Okay. The whole message of the modern West is if it feels good, do it. Put yourself first. Don't think about anybody else. So when you read these stories of, oh, we need more engineers, if America needs more engineers, if Germany needs more engineers, it's just going to import them from India, Korea, and China. Okay. It's all of this fear mongering, all of this talk that we need, you really should go into engineering. The world needs you. It's just designed to lower wages. Okay. Yes, they need engineers, but they don't want to pay for them. Okay. They don't want to pay you well for your 25 years of education. Okay. That's what it comes down to, is yeah, they need some technicians. Okay. They need technicians. And yes, maybe you do have 25 years of education, but the companies certainly don't want to pay for that. So if they need it, they'll just bring it in from China, they'll bring it in from India. So again, I this whole nobility, we don't live in that world anymore. Okay, this isn't like fucking Sherwood Forest, and there's this etiquette, this Robin Hood, he robbed from the rich and gave to the poor. None of this exists anymore. Okay, so why are you pretending like, well, nobody's going to lend to you if they can't make a profit through usury? I would say tough shit. Like, well, you did sign on the dotted line, sir. You did sign on the dotted line, did you not? You did sign that promissory note. Uh, you did do that, didn't you? Uh, and it's like, yeah. So, I mean, like, isn't the message that pretty much you can lie and deceive, and you'll advance to the highest office in the land? I mean, it wasn't that the whole premise of, well, weapons of mass destruction, they're here, here. We have a good idea where they're at. Oh, I see. You have to keep your word, good sir. You gave us your word, good sir. And you intend to go back. It's like everybody else plays by different rules. Everybody else plays by different rules. They lie, and their lies actually have consequences where, millions of people perish. But that's okay. That's okay. Um, but oh well, you did sign it, and they get like they get this like weird smirk on their face. Again, you have to understand why do they seem so agitated that other people are, by their own admission, somebody will write a letter or send a email to Aaron Clary, and he'll say, I'm $300,000 in debt. I have $300,000 in student loans. And why does this cause this guy why does it cause him to go, ape shit? Why does it cause him to be so apoplectic? It's because he regrets not doing the same thing when he had the opportunity. Okay. When he had the opportunity, he was working 3 shifts as a security guard and cuddling up with the big centipedes in somebody's rented basement filled with radon. Okay. Instead, he realizes all these years later, he could have been living in a really swanky apartment. Okay. Having a much higher quality of life, not, giving himself an ulcer, working three jobs while going to university. He could have focused strictly on his grades, strictly on extracurriculars, and he realizes that only when it's too late. Okay. That is why that is why he's so upset. Like, okay, so somebody is $250,000 in debt. It's their problem, right? I mean, if they're able to sleep well at night without fears of uh without losing sleep over it, well, okay. But that's the thing. Why does it bother him so much? It's, I believe, because he maybe listened to his, elders, or people were telling him the same thing. Don't avoid debt at all costs. And now he sees that, the debt really is, it's no hindrance. It doesn't affect people. Women are having a great time. They're traveling here, they're going there, they're going to brunch, and yeah, okay, so they have 300 grand in debt. They're not losing sleep over it. And like I said, we're probably going to see consideration given to um, those who have the most debt when it comes to getting a job or getting a promotion or getting a raise. I think that will be a consideration. I mean, it makes sense, right? You can't discriminate against people on the basis of, this, that, and the other thing, aside from affirmative action. Um, but economic status, now, it would almost make sense. It would be keeping in line with, you know, our ideology, from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. Well, if somebody is 300K in debt, it would stand to reason they get the raise, right? I mean, they need it. They do need it after all. Okay. Oh, they have a crippled kid who, in a wheelchair, who's retarded. Well, yeah, we need that crippled boy in a wheelchair who's retarded. He needs a full-time nurse. So sounds like his family needs more money. Oh, you have a gifted child? Oh, fuck you. Oh, you're a gifted child. Maybe your gifted child can act as an assistant to the retard in a wheelchair. All right. Your gifted child doesn't need anything. All right. So I do believe that's why it gets to him so much. It's because he realizes that he could have had it much easier, and instead, he did it all. He did it his way, so to speak, and doesn't owe anybody anything. But what difference did it make in the end? Let's see. Let's see here. Um, Oh, and yeah, somebody says here, just don't pay it. What the fuck are they gonna do? Steal all the shit you probably don't have? Exactly. Um, they have these weird ideas of, the repo man repossessing your fleet of Cadillacs out, in your big backyard. It's like, yeah, and it's the same with the MGTOW people about, don't you dare get married. Women are gonna take half your shit. Well, half of what? Half of my piss jugs? I mean, what? Make sure she signs a prenup, okay? Yeah, she's gonna take all your shit, man. Like, well, I look around, I was like, what the fuck does she want? She wants my Xbox. She wants my I don't know, this little fucking bowl of odds and ends. There's not much here. There's not much here, you know? Yeah. What are they gonna do? Steal all the shit you don't have? Yeah. They're gonna repossess all those piss jugs. Oh, shit. Yeah, and again, they can't legally take a car under a certain amount, and the same with a house that isn't worth that much. Exactly. They also can't take a vehicle that's used for work. If you do rely on that vehicle, say for transportation to your job, or say it's a dual use vehicle, you're a handyman and you have a F-350 or an F-150 and you got your big toolbox in the back of the truck bed and you're going fixing water heaters and fixing toilets and stuff like that, they can't confiscate that. Okay, do you understand? Because that'd be self-defeating. It's how they're trying to get you to pay stuff back, but then they're going to take away your ability to work and your ability to pay. It doesn't make sense. So they're not going to be able to take your vehicle if you're using it for work. They can't throw you out of on your ear on the fucking sidewalk and say, "Oh, you're homeless." Well, okay. So we solved one problem, but now we're going to increase the funding for, housing the homeless. So it doesn't make any sense for them to do that. Okay, we're going to take your house and oh, well, now you're homeless. So we're going to have to give you all these benefits for being homeless. These people just live in a fantasy world where it's Big Brutus and he's knocking on your door to it's like, yeah, the dog, the bounty hunter. He's here to repossess shit. No, it doesn't work like that. These people are living in fear of a boogeyman who doesn't exist. I don't want you to be alarmed, but there may be a boogeyman or boogeymen in the house. Let's see here. Uh, Yeah, somebody says he wants some kind of honor bestowed upon him for not taking loans. Yeah, it's not the way it works. Maybe that type of Ben Franklin's you know a farmer's almanac, early to bed, early to rise sentiment worked 250 years ago, but it doesn't get you anything nowadays. If anything, I think it's going to get you stuff. Okay, like I said, I think we will see. I would bet money that we would see consideration given to those who have a lot of debt. It's in times gone past, it would have been seen as a security risk. Like, oh, this person's not reliable. How can we trust them with a high power position? How can we trust them to be steward of the treasury if they're so deeply in debt? Now I think it's an asset. It used to be a liability. Not anymore. I think they're going to give preference to those who have the most debt. Only makes sense, right? In our current age. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, government jobs, again, there's no shame in that. I don't get these people who think it's an honor to work yourself into poor health when, yes, there are lazy people with government jobs. The TSA agents, okay, bend over, I need to check your asshole. These people, they make, they survive. They're not living underneath a bridge. Okay, they get paid quite well for no education, no skill, etc. People who work for what is it, the MTA, the Metropolitan Transit Authority. Now, yes, you have some skilled people who are drivers of the trains. That's a pretty impressive job where you're driving 500 people. But you have, for every one person who does that, you have what, 100 people who are supposed to be like scrubbing the floors and cleaning the toilets. They don't do it. Okay, I've seen these people. They just have a bucket of dirty water. They have an old dirty mop and they just slowly push the mop around in a small puddle. They're not scrubbing the floors, okay? That's why everything is so fucking filthy in New York. Okay? They just want to pretend like they're doing something and they get paid. I mean, fuck, a janitor for the MTA, I don't know what they make, 25, 30 bucks an hour for not doing anything. Um But I mean, again, yeah, I mean, if you're a, or be a postal worker, okay, I don't see that sounds like a kind of a cool job. You get a lot of exercise, you get clean, you get fresh air, and you just walk around. You listen to your music on an iPod, and you get paid really well for, you know, putting stuff in a mailbox. It's not hard to do. It's not hard work. It didn't take you 25 years to learn how to do that. Um, let's see here. Igor will come to your house and take your Xbox. Well, it's the same, yeah, with women. Oh, be careful, bro. You gotta hide your assets. What assets? Like these people, I mean, they pride themselves on being minimalists. They pride themselves on not having a pot to piss in. They're crashing on somebody's couch. They're sleeping on a hammock. They're it's like Homer Simpson with the dog. Don't you want? It's when that person, that woman, that single mother moves in next door to the Simpsons, and she's talking to Marge, and Marge is like, Homer had given her like a housewarming gift, and it was an old porno called Das Butt instead of Das Boot, and it was some like X-rated film, and she goes like, "And this was for male of the man of the house, which I guess means you." And and the new neighbor goes, "Oh well, let me explain. I'm divorced. They're so cute when you marry them, but pretty soon it's all just career, career, career." And then it cuts to Homer in the backyard, and he's yelling at the dog. The dog is in the hammock, and Homer's going, "My hammock, mine. Don't look at me like that." It's like, I mean, maybe there are some men out there who have a fleet of Bugattis, but um, uh, for the younger demographic, I don't think so. I don't think losing a lot of material stuff is really a risk. Um, what are they, she's gonna take my piss jugs. Oh, my goodness, gonna have to hide those. Uh, Most people don't have a lot in the way of material stuff, like either to be repossessed, foreclosed upon, divvied up in assets when it comes to failed marriage. Are there some guys with a lot of the boat, uh, you know, the collection of priceless artifacts, maybe, but I don't think the majority of them. Let's see here. Bus driver, I have nothing against it. I mean, any of these sort of. Well, I did talk to one guy once. He was on the train, the Amtrak. Uh, he wasn't, the conductor or anything. Those guys stay in the whatever the, the the control room. He was the snack car operator. So if you take a train in America, this isn't like in Asia or Europe where you have floating trains and bullet trains that travel 300 miles an hour. You take the Amtrak, and top speed's about 50 miles an hour. Um, and they have in some cars they have like sleeping cars, dining cars. Depends, if you're going across different regions of the country. So some are quite nice actually. Some of the trains of Amtrak are nice, but for the most part, you get the lower quality ones. The ones, well, it's hit or miss, whatever. Most of the ones I've been on were quite cheap, and they have a dining car, they have a snack car, and who is some guy maybe 27 years old working in the snack car. So he would get like soda and bags of pretzels and stuff like that. And I talked to this guy. I think he said he made like 50 grand a year. 50 grand a year. And all he had to do was ride the train and get people like a can of ginger ale. Like that's pretty good. And 50 grand a year. He works, 4 days a week or something. And compare that to, oh, you make 100K a year, huh? You make 100K and you have a master's from Carnegie Mellon. You have an MI, you have a PhD from Case Western or from MIT or Berkeley, and you work at Google or Facebook. So with all of your education, you make twice gross. You make twice what the snack car attendant, because it's a union job. Those are anything to do with the rails. The rail system is unionized. That guy makes 50 grand a year. And how much harder did you have to work in life? He didn't take any classes. He didn't take calculus. He didn't take orgo. He didn't take anything. He's never written a computer program. So all of your effort, and it gets you a factor of 2 gross more than the snack car attendant aboard an Amtrak train. All right. I mean, if you want to work away your life for, you know, the just to do it, or to think that somebody's going to give you a badge of honor or nobody's going to give you shit. Okay. Nobody cares. That's the point. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody is going to lay a wreath on you. Nobody is going to give you a pat on the back. Nobody fucking cares. Okay. That's what it comes down to. Okay, you could just stock cans of ragu, jars of ragu. Nobody fucking cares. Oh, okay, so you have a master's from Carnegie Mellon in robotics. Nobody cares. Uh, let's see here. Somebody's talking about some Tyrone propaganda. Yeah, it's it's not Tyrone's. This is a talk for another video. It's not Chad. It's not Tyrone getting women. It's fucking Sandeep. Sandeep and Ching Chong. Okay, they're the ones with the women. I'm not seeing King Kong with the women. Um, most people have large 401ks, pensions, Roth IRAs by their young 20s. I don't think so. By their young 20s, you're not even out of college yet. Plenty to lose if you're not a loser. Again, these people thinking about retirement. Um, I see all of these things about how much you should have put away at this age. You really think old age is going to be pleasant? You think old age is going to be enjoyable? Oh, if you work real hard, you can retire in your early 60s instead of your late 60s. Wow. Wow, that's what makes America so awesome. I'm so glad America won the Second World War. If you play your cards right, you can retire at age 63 instead of age 67. Whoa, wow. Yeah, and then you can spend your remaining years in senility eating cat food, or maybe it's caviar. Your brain's so gone it doesn't really matter at that point. Oh, you have to go to the hospital for an extended, um, what is the term? Not stay, an extended hospitalization. You have to go to a nursing home. Well, we're going to take all your assets and we're going to take your house. It doesn't matter if you want to leave it to your kids. If you have chronic health problems that require yourself to be institutionalized, meaning to go to a assisted living place or to a hospital, all of your assets, what you own, are liquidated. They're seized by the government, and they are dispensed with before you start to get government assistance. Okay, so you are rendered destitute. It's called paying down. Okay, you don't get it both ways. You don't get to be put up by Medicare in a nursing home for 20 years while keeping millions of dollars in the bank. Okay, and oh, you want to think you're slick and give it to your children right before you go to the nursing home. Doesn't work that way. They have analysts, okay, government bureaucrats whose job is to go back through the records and look for any suspicious withdrawals. So this idea of retirement, I don't know why people are working the best years of their life. Okay, in fact, the only good years of your life, when you're young, When you're young, you're healthy, you're able-bodied, so that you can enjoy senility and comfort. I mean, that is what you're doing, right? You think life in your 70s and 80s, and if you're, if you manage to live to your 90s, most people do not. Um, what do you think that's going to be like? Okay, in your 70s, your 80s, you're what, a living corpse, right? That's what you are. You're like the crypt keeper. And I'm not just saying that you're not attractive. I'm saying your brain is gone. You can't think the way you used to. You can't write the way you used to. You're basically gone. But what, you get to wear a Ralph Lauren polo as you sit there drooling on yourself? Seems kind of absurd to me. Going through the comments here. Now, yeah, there are very few in their young 20s that have more than a few grand in the bank. I would say the vast majority of people in their 20s have a negative net worth. They're in debt. People do not have assets in their 20s unless they came from wealth. Um, Somebody says, "Well, I have good pull-out game, so I won't have to save shit or work much." Well, see, my mindset's always the opposite. One girl I dated, she had me take she wanted to have sex without the condom, so she took it off. She goes, "Just don't come in me, okay?" And I said, "Okay, I won't." And I lied. I said, "Oh, I I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it." But of course I could have. I did it deliberately. But you know, that's just me. Um, it's like, don't come in me, okay? Oh, I won't. Okay, somebody says I see so many female and brown drivers lately, bro. That's not affirmative action. Okay, that's because they have superior spatial reasoning skills. Okay, why do you think Jamal can sink a three-point shot from mid court? Okay, it's for the same reason why he makes a better bus driver. Okay, it's like that Simpsons episode. Yeah, see, when white people drive a car, they drive like this. When black people drive a car, it's like this. And Homer's laughing. He goes, "It's true. It's true. We're so lame." It's that superior spatial reasoning. Okay, they can navigate that big bus. Well, those long ones with the accordion. They're connected by an accordion. Things like 120 feet long. Uh, bends around the city block. It's like a fucking snake. The buses that are like two stuck together with an accordion. Um, Wouldn't want to drive one of those in New York City. Let's see. Well, why pull out? That's the whole point of sex, is to create life, right? Let's see here. Again, you don't have to save for children. That's such a white way of thinking. That's what I really I try to dispel. It's what I try to convince people is you don't have to save a fucking penny for children. Okay, everything is provided for by the government. Okay, free. Again, you can go to the emergency room for the delivery. It's free. Okay. The government is not going to let your child starve. The government is not going to let your child go without medicine if he has a cough. This idea that you have to provide for everything is bullshit. Every fucking immigrant refugee that manages to ride a fucking armadillo across the border gets everything for free. But I, as a United States citizen, I'm supposed to secure these things by working at some soul crushing job? No, no, but fuck that. If we have money to give to illegals, we have money for my children. So I'm not going to pay for that. Uh, Why pay for something you can get for free? You know, doesn't make sense. If they have a coat drive, okay, they give out free coats, free laundered coats, free dry cleaned coats. Uh, why would I pay $50 or $100 of my hard earned money for the same thing that I can get for free from the coat drive? Oh, I believe that. Somebody, DNC lovers talking about the Chinese shop owners laughed at us. Uh, they think they own this country. Yeah, well, I mean, they do in a sense own it. Yeah, if it's like what Lenin said, we'll sell the rope to the capitalists that they'll use to hang themselves with. Everything's for sale. It's capitalism. Buy one, get one free. Everything's got to go. No birthright. Birthright. What's that? Everything's got to go. Oh, you don't like it? Oh, you don't like that the cost of real estate has gone up? You don't like it that you can't afford an apartment in Toronto? You don't like it that you can't afford housing in Vancouver? Oh, fuck you. You should have just made more money. Just make more money, brah. Just work harder, brah. Capitalism, it's number one. Again, somebody says life is a long and hard road to hoe. It doesn't have to be. Think about it. If you live in the richest country that has ever existed. Why is it still that everything's like a version of the Hunger Games? Why is it that life is seemingly so difficult when we live in the age of unparalleled luxury, unparalleled ease, and yet everybody is, oh, I gotta keep networking. I gotta get this job to get that job so I can get to this job so I can work for the next 40 years. This is what we get for living in the best country, the best country to ever exist at its peak. Should be a little bit easier than that, I think. Seems to me, uh, it's this Hunger Games mindset that, well, you just have to commit to studying for 20 years, and then you have to get an apprenticeship and an internship, and that internship lets you meet this person, and it's just work for the next 45 years, and if you're lucky, you can retire at age 64 to Florida. That's working a lot harder than anyone else does in the world. Okay, people take it easy elsewhere in the world, whether it's in fucking Southeast Asia, whether it's in the Middle East. These people for allegedly having to overcome, decades of civil war and decades of America bombing them. They just, they take it easy. They sit around in a cafe, they drink tea, they smoke hookah. Uh, they actually enjoy their lives and they're getting by. It isn't this 50-year Hunger's game that people here in the West are committing themselves to. And yet we're supposed to be living in the superior country. From where I sit, is people are taking it easier. They have an easier time of it in these uh, bombed out hellhole countries. Uh, well, again, all these people, yeah, they sell. They're trying to sell you something. These entrepreneurship channels. Don't you want the luxury lifestyle? Don't you want the Gucci lifestyle? They're trying to sell you something, okay? And they're all part of the same message. They want you to play the game, okay? They want you to play the game while you're young, while you're able-bodied, while you're healthy. And they want you to be a good little gear, turning, 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 contributing. They don't want you to be taking it easy, just, okay, I'm going to hang out in the park. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to just I'm going to take it easy. They want you to be a good little worker and they want you to die, okay, before you can collect. You pay into the system, they want you to fucking die before you can collect. Okay? They don't you think the government wants you to live to be 100 years old? You think the United States government wants you to be living everybody yeah, the government wants you to live to be 120. It wants you to be collecting benefits for 60 years. Okay? And these people, you know you get these news stories and it'll be some person who's 109 years old and it's such a rarity. They try to make it sound like that's what's happening. That's what's common. Everybody, the average life expectancy is 99 years old. No, no, it's not. They want you to contribute and work in your youth, and then they want you to fucking die before you can collect. Can you do a rant on unreasonable landlords and roommates? Yeah, I could do that another time. I unfortunately had many unpleasant, not roommates, apartment mates. Yeah, just keep. Do you have your pitch deck, brah? Self-help entrepreneurship. Do you have your pitch deck? I want to see your 5-minute pitch, your 1-minute pitch, and your elevator pitch, because that's how things happen in the real world. You're on an elevator with Warren Buffett, and you're going down together, and you're like, Mr. Buffett, I have 30 seconds and I want to pitch to you my idea. And then he's going to say, I was so impressed. I'm impressed with your gumption, kid. I'm going to give you an investment of $2 million, because that's how it works in reality, right? Let's see. Just follow Dan Pena's advice. Exactly. The $50 billion man. I love his take on women too. Back in my day, if a man wasn't getting more ass than a toilet seat, we thought he was a poofter. Gotta get ass, more ass than a toilet seat. That's healthy. That's a good way to view the opposite sex. Ass. Did you get some ass? I don't want to see your face. Just give me that booty. Give me that ass. Wow, that sounds like a gay man talking, right? He's obsessed with ass. That's weird. Let's get caught up here. The $50 billion man. Yeah. Again, his views on women. People don't seem to realize that they're guilty of this. That they adopt the language that has been foisted upon them. Did you get some? Did you crush it? Bang it, bang it. It's a fucking artillery barrage. I got PTSD from all of this banging. That's kind of weird when you think about it, right? Like, instead of viewing it as something like beautiful or something to calm you down, or something, you're comparing it to like a somebody who's shell shocked from the First World War. Bang! You pull out a fake gun, and it has like you pull the trigger and a little flag pops out and it says bang. Uh, did you crush it? Did you smash it? Did you pound it? More ass than a toilet seat. That's healthy. That's why gay people are so wonderful. Oh, gay people. They're so wise. They're like owls. They've ascended one level above us. They're not concerned with reproduction. Okay, they've transcended all of that. They're so there's why can't we all be gay? World would be so wonderful. But again, somebody says they want to leave their kids wealth. You may want to, but again, you don't understand. Sometimes these things are beyond your control. Like I said, if you do require significant medical attention or care, like round the clock nursing assistance, which could happen abruptly. It could be a stroke, something abrupt, just here it's not something while it's on the horizon. It could happen without you knowing it. And suddenly all of your assets are frozen. All of your assets are going to medical care. Um, and it's besides, why leave wealth? What is the importance of wealth? It's all been exaggerated. Okay. Uh, Vast amounts of wealth are not necessary. Okay. You look at all of these fucking countries. They have, who has the most kids? It's the poorest people. It's the poorest people, and it's the wealthiest people who have the fewest children. It's more important just to spend time with your children. Again, the government will provide the essentials. Okay, that's what you're missing. Um, Clothing, shelter, food, medical care, all of these things will be provided for. Why pay for something that somebody's going to give you for free? I mean, is it a matter of pride? I mean, that's just silly. If somebody's going to give me my kid a coat from the coat drive, okay, why would I pay $100 for that? Yeah, thrift store clothes are cheap. I mean, sometimes it's even donated. Um, coat drives, things like that. Some dweeb making 9.50 an hour at Walmart going to stop you taking a jacket. He's going to risk his life. He's going to risk his life over a jacket. Um, Somebody says a security guard will stop you and you'll be on camera. Well, you can always just claim I mean, you can just claim you're crazy or just act like you're crazy. Are they really going to prosecute a poor mentally ill person? I mean, come on, that's have some compassion, bro. Okay, where's your compassion? Okay, somebody is just mentally retarded, and you want to put them in jail because they didn't know what they were doing. It's not like they're pretending to be retarded just to steal a coat. Okay, who would do that? Okay, what type of sociopath would do such a thing? Okay, you want to put a poor retarded man in jail? Come on. You really want to call the police so they can come over in their $100,000 cruiser and fill out paperwork for 2 hours to take some poor homeless person to jail and give them a change of clothes and a free pair of shoes? I mean, that's what you'll do. Some fucking homeless person gets caught trying to steal some eggs from the store. The clerk calls the cops. They show up in their $100,000 cop cruisers. They spend 2 hours doing paperwork to take this homeless bum to jail to give him a free pair of shoes and a change of clothes and a place to stay, all on your tax dollar. Just getting caught up here. Yeah, Reaganomics gave us the Hunger Games. Well, it fucked up a lot of things. It was Reagan who closed down all the mental asylums, the mental institutions. So, okay, it saved some money, but now you have crazy people with squeegees on every street corner. Okay, now you can't go to the park because there are syringes in the sandbox. Now there's human shit in the sandbox because all the crazies were turned loose from the mental institutes and they were set free to roam the streets. Okay, that's why you can't go walk through the park at night. That's why you can't, walk through an alley at night. Is because now all these fucking crazy people who used to be locked up are now roaming the streets. So, there you go. Yeah, property tax, state and federal tax, state sales tax, the establishment will take your wealth one way or another. Well, again, as far as owning a house, it's true. You never own property. You never own property. It's impossible to do so unless you're an Indian. In that case, you get a reservation. In that case, you do own it. You own it outright. Um, but white people, fuck you, Americans. Okay, you can't own property. You just lease it from the state. You lease it from the government. You have to pay your property taxes. You can't stop working because you always have those taxes to pay. You can never pay them off. They're perpetual. You have to keep paying your property taxes. Oh, the property taxes have gone up. Well, better go back to work if you want to keep your house. Okay? Those after school programs, somebody's got to pay for them. Okay? Those free lunches aren't so free. Okay? But if you're an Indian, you get whole pieces of whole just big pieces of territory, and you can do whatever you want on them. You can run casinos, you can sell tax-free cigarettes, tax-free gasoline. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want. It's the red man's revenge. Okay. Oh, you lost all your money gambling. Oh, I'm sorry, bro, but that's the red man's revenge. He's paying you back. Indians are wonderful. Okay, they never hurt any settlers. They never hurt any pioneers. The violence was always one way. It was always the evil white person killing those innocent, uh, tree dwelling, arboreal Ewoks. They were so gentle. They never made any animals go extinct. They never killed off the giant sloth or the cave bear or anything like that. They never hunted giant game animals to extinction. They never did that. They lived at one with nature. It was the evil white man who destroyed everything with his evil fences and barbed wire. Indians were so peaceful. They never made war with other tribes. They were just, holding hands and singing in the sunshine. And then the evil white man came around. So it's only fair that the Indians get to poison our people with reduced price cigarettes and reduced price alcohol. It's only fair. Okay, it's only fair. Get our people addicted to gambling. Well, it's his fault, right? I mean, he got addicted to gambling. Serves him right. Fuck him. Fuck him. I side with the red man. I never side with my own people. Why would I do that? Should homo marriage be made illegal? No, in fact, it should be made compulsory. It should be mandatory. Everyone for a period of time, perhaps 6 months to 2 years, should be required to experience homosexual marriage. It should be mandatory. It should be a coming of rite passage. Okay. Um, so, no, homosexual marriage should not be illegal. In fact, it should be mandatory. Um, yeah, somebody says, cry for the Indians, die for the Indians. Exactly. Okay, they were here first. Just ignore all of those accounts of like giant earthen mounds with containing the bodies of like 7 and 8, 9 foot giants with 2 rows of teeth. Didn't happen. Okay, just ignore it. Indians were here first. They didn't even cross the Bering Strait land bridge. They just poof. They poofed into existence, and they were so peaceful and peace loving, and they never killed any settlers. And if they did, those settlers had it coming. Even the children, especially the children. Uh, let's see. Somebody says go one step further. Becoming a transgender for a year should be mandatory so men can finally feel what a woman has to go through. We're getting there. Baby steps. Okay, baby steps. I think in the military, weren't they requiring new recruits to wear this like fake baby? It was like a pouch with lead weights inside that you would wear on your stomach to simulate the weight and discomfort of being pregnant. Um, didn't they do that for new recruits? It was like this fake. It was a way to like fake being pregnant. You know, like what somebody like in a if they were to try if they were trying to appear to be pregnant, like for a movie, like for a role in a movie or a play, it was something they would put underneath their shirt or dress or something, and they were making the male recruits put this thing on. It was like 20 pounds or 25 pounds to simulate the baby and the amniotic fluid, and so baby steps. There was also a piece of performance art, I think, created by a Japanese man, and it involved placing electrodes on the abdominal muscles, and it created mild electric shocks to simulate the cramps of associated with PMS, uh, so that men could experience the pain of that women go through every month. It was these electrodes that were taped to the skin and generated mild muscle cramps. So we're getting there. Okay, you have to be patient. The culture war is not won overnight. Have to be patient. Yeah, remember all of those songs that celebrate the Indian, like Iron Maiden, Run to the Hills, and the song America by Steppenwolf. But the one that I really like is Run to the Hills by Iron Maiden. Because, like I said, it was completely one sided. Okay. White people never sold guns to the Indians. The Indians were, fighting back with slingshots against, guns. They never had guns. That never happened. Um, and the Indians were just so peaceful, wonderful people. Uh, anyway, I think I've talked about everything. I went long enough. All of these people, the advice they give when it comes to career, STEM, staying out of debt, what women want, how to get women. It's all wrong. It's all wrong. They're what women secretly desire. I don't know what makes you think women want men at all. I mean, that's your first faulty assumption. That's you're making a mistake from step one. Is you think women are salivating like Pavlov's dogs over the thought of being in a relationship with a man or of having sex with a man. No, no, I don't think so. I think they're pretty asexual. I think they're pretty much content to be by themselves with each other. Um, like I said, you have all of these gender segregated events, concerts, networking events, residence halls, dormitories. They don't want men invading their spaces. They want to be left the fuck alone. Okay. For all of these channels by men talking about women, do you see any about women relating to men? I mean, you see an occasional article where something uh, 5, 6 year old women complaining about men aren't uh, gentlemen's anymore. Some bullshit, some bullshit. They don't really care. They're happy. Okay, they're corporate executives and they're getting together for brunch to talk about some bad Tinder date. It's not like they really care. It's not that they're lonely. It's not that they can't get a man. I mean, you see these. What was it? The Tinder trap, right? This woman catfishes or tricks fucking 200 or 300 men to show up for a date. I mean, if those are the odds, okay, if one woman who's not a stunner, who's just, okay looking, if she can get like 200 men to show up at the exact same time, I mean, think about how many other men she must have been talking to who, maybe had to work and couldn't show up at fucking noon in, Union Park in New York City. Like, well, I'd love to, but I work in Brooklyn. I can't show up. I can't, I'm working. I'm in class at, 1 p.m. I'm sorry. She managed to get 200 people to show up, 200 guys to show up, in the middle of the fucking day at a particular location. So, I mean, that should kind of tell you just how bad the dating world is. I mean, that should kind of tell you that the numbers do not favor men. Women are not pining for men. They're not desperate for men. They're not wanting to be around men at all. Okay, they don't want anything to fucking do with men. I mean, it's a fucking joke to them. So yeah, but just work real hard. Okay, it's okay. Just work real hard, and then when you're 50, the women will just be falling out of the sky. They'll love you. They love Gandalf the Grey. They love him. Uh, uh, yeah, Coach Red Pill, Mr. Bean, and then Sandman, the wedding photographer. That's kind of a weird occupation, isn't it, for a man, a wedding photographer? It's weird. Wedding photographer. Anyway, I think I covered everything. I named the names. I named the names. You know who they are, the big wigs, the big players, the big fish, uh, who have, a lot of followers. And they somehow, like I said, I think they give the advice that they do because they feel cheated and they realize they fucked up. They could have had it much easier if they had just taken out, some student loan. They see all these other people who, uh, they they see other people who weren't as frugal. They didn't major in something that was, you know, as difficult. These people did what they thought they were supposed to do, and it didn't get them anywhere. And instead of admitting that it didn't get them anywhere, instead of admitting that they fucked up, they double down on it, and they somehow make a virtue out of the tragedy that is their life. So instead of saying, "Yeah, I fucked up. If I could build a time machine and, knock the books out of the 13-year-old version of myself's hands and tell him go start stealing liquor from your father's liquor cabinet, do that instead." No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're going to stick by the way that they lived, which made them miserable, and they're going to somehow make a virtue out of it, and they're going to try to get misery loves company, so they're going to get others to do as they did. Oh yeah, avoid debt at all costs. Don't take anything for free. That makes you less of a man. If you get free medical care, if you go to the emergency room, if you get on Medicaid, if you get food stamps, oh, that makes you less of a man. You have to provide for your own children. Pay for everything. Pay for the delivery room. Pay for the stork. Pay for the stork delivery system. Meanwhile, immigrants, refugees, they get that all for free. But I have my pride. You can't you can't take that from me. You can take my property. You can take my wealth. You can take everything, but you can't take my pride. Uh, Somebody says they work in a law firm that is majority white. Quite a few got into a relationship at university and stayed like that. Mid to late 20s too. It sounds like a very different world from what I'm used to. I can't really picture law school or being a lawyer. Probably would have been a better choice, if you can write well. I would say if you can write well, you would probably make a great lawyer, because that's what it means to be a lawyer nowadays. It's not like, yeah, your powers of persuasion and your powers of oratory. He has great powers of rhetoric. He's a real Clarence Darrow. Um, yeah, the Scopes Monkey Trial and Leopold and Loeb. It's not like that. It's, you're writing some fucking very drab, you know, well written, whatever piece of legalese. It's not up to. It's not, like I said, you're not Clarence Darrow. But that's a different world from what I can imagine. But it sounds boring anyway. I mean, incredibly boring. Being a lawyer. Well, yeah, Ally McBeal, but that's from fucking 20 years ago. The way that was portrayed. Um, Again, it's high pressure, right? That you're on salary. Well, actually, no, maybe you're not on salary. Maybe depends. If I guess you work for the law firm, you're on salary. Um, Otherwise, you'd be charging your own clients. But um, it just sounds stress-inducing. It sounds like it's a high, uh, not high energy, but high demand. You know, very demanding job. Um, doesn't sound like you have a lot of time to have a family. So okay. And it also means you don't have a lot of vacation time. I mean, you've got to be at the office. You're a lawyer. You're important. They have work for you. Okay. They have work for you. So you can't be taking 2 months off, 3 months off. You get maybe a week off, and you get to go up to one of those nice Indian casinos, and you get to make your offering, your blood offering. So maybe you lose 10 grand, maybe you lose 20 grand at the Indian casino. You just laugh it off because you're like, I'm a rich white person, right? And I only have a week of vacation every year because I'm important. I am a lawyer, and I'm so important that I can't get more vacation time. They need me. So I'm just going to go. Maybe I won't go to an Indian casino. Maybe I'll go to the casinos run by, what's his name? Sheldon Adelson. And that's good too, right? Giving my money, my hard-earned money, to the red man or to the Jewish mafia. Either way, I'm atoning for being white. And so I lost $10,000. It's like you only live once, right? Like YOLO, right? So anyway, no, no, I'll end on that because I was actually watching some of his re-uploaded stuff. Some people have put up some of his old videos, Steve Hoka's videos. No, no word from him. Well, I'll correct that. A few months ago, I think it was a few months ago, I got an email where he asked that I take down the two videos that I did with him, the interviews. Um, he didn't say why, but I would have done it. Listen, I wouldn't be making these videos. I would never have gotten started if I hadn't listened to Steve Hoka's videos. That's what got me. It's not to say he endorses anything that I say, or we even agree on some of this stuff, but I think it was his delivery. I think he was passionate, and that's what got me going. But um, I mean, his videos are all over the place. That's what I'm saying. So if it's problematic or a stumbling block or something when it comes to anything that he'd want to do in meat space, or the real world, it's not me as the impediment. It's not my two little videos. My two little which don't even have. They're not actually videos. They're uh, just sound. There's no photos. There's no video camera footage. It's just audio. But I mean, so many people out there. I mean, dozens, if not hundreds, of mirror sites have put up his old videos. So his stuff's out there. So kind of asking that I take down two videos that I don't think they weren't really. There was no profanity. There was nothing really to. There was no doxing information in them. There was nothing there. But the big, I did not comply with that. I didn't comply. There are so many uh, re-uploads of his stuff out there. I mean, it's out there. Dozens of people have re-uploaded his stuff on different platforms. So two little videos, I don't think really makes a difference. Um, but other than that, no information whatsoever. Um, yeah, yeah. Somebody says a lot of women are stocking shelves. Yeah, it's you're not putting like huge crates on the shelves. It's kind of small little boxes of Band-Aids. A little box of toothpaste. It's not huge, heavy barrels. Oak barrels that you're moving around. It's not like that. Um, just just to reiterate, all of these people with their bad advice, the stoicism, the avoid debt, keep your word. Yeah, keep your word. Keep your word in an era when everyone lies, when the politicians lie. Oh, I'm going to build that wall. Oh, 2 years later, nothing. Uh, no immigrants. Well, okay, we'll take some immigrants. No DACA. I care about dreamers. Uh, no foreign war. Let's bomb Syria. Uh, Russia is not our enemy. Let's put more sanctions on Russia. All of these liars, all right, all of these liars who hold the highest of offices, who hold the most influence, yet somehow my dog nose, okay, my snout dipped in some fucking preschool paint and stuck to a piece of paper that's supposed to mean something. Okay. Yeah, I'm King John signing the Magna Carta. I better keep my word. Okay. Don't take free stuff. Don't take a free coat. Don't take this. Don't take that. Pay for everything yourself. It's the white man's way. Fuck that. Okay. Fuck that. Just like I said, why do you want to work for others? Why do you want to work to exhaust yourself? Okay. You think being in your 70s and 80s is going to be wonderful? Okay, so you managed to save a lot of wealth. You're now 85 years old. You now have Alzheimer's. Okay, you're being abused by your nurse. Okay, so what was the point of working when you were healthy so that you could, you know, uh, be senile for 20 years? Come on, it makes no sense. These people advocate things that are self-defeating. That's what it comes down to. They're not advocating things that are actually in their own best interests. They're not advocating for things that will help you. I think they fucked up, and instead of admitting that they fucked up and that they would do things differently, they double down and try to make a virtue out of it. And misery loves company. Let me just look at the last few comments here. Uh, Somebody talks about a band working your life away. Well, I mean that's the song "Killing Yourself to Live." I mean that sounds like a more recent band, but Black Sabbath, right? Killing yourself to live. You work your life away, and what do they care? You're only killing yourself to live. That's the whole message of their song, "Killing Yourself to Live." Um, you work your life away, and what do they care? Um, anyway, I think that's about it, and I'm going to punch out now.